Hi everybody, it's a pleasure to have you back at Afro Beauty Braids channel. Okay, I hope you all had a chance to look at the videos that I posted last week. We talked about hair types and how our hair types influence the hair products that we buy. Okay, so you buy products that are best suited for your hair type. If you haven't had a chance to go and watch those videos, please take a minute, look through, and you will love the information that I did share. Okay, on the other hand, I want to remind you all that it would be nice to subscribe to our channel if you find this information useful, and also remember to turn on your notification bell so you know when the videos are coming in. But to be more specific, I am trying to post a video every Tuesday, either with a protective hairstyle. We haven't started there because I felt that if we started with the hair care tips, then we would progress into the protective hairstyles. Okay, I think next week I'll be doing a protective hairstyle, how to achieve single plaits like the ones you see over here. I have so many questions from my viewers, and so we'll get into that next week. We will talk about the techniques and everything else. Okay, but for now, remember to subscribe, leave a comment. Please do like our videos. Every little helps, just to encourage us. It's like a way of letting us know that you're having fun and you're finding the information useful. Okay, today we will be talking about hair loss. Hair loss is such a popular topic, I think, because I've had so many questions about that too. We will be talking about hair loss, hair shedding, how different they are, what causes hair loss, when should we be worried, when do we need to see a doctor, what can we do to stop the hair loss. Okay, so hair loss is when you either partially or completely lose your hair. Sometimes it's permanent and sometimes it's not. There are things you can do to encourage hair growth. I mean, in the areas that you've lost hair. On the other hand, hair shedding is a normal pattern. A hair growth has a cycle. Hair grows, hair rests, and hair sheds. In a lay language, it's like saying that your old hair fell off. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to wake up and you're bald because you're having your hair shedding. No. What I mean is that different parts of your hair are at different stages. So it all happens at different times. That's why we don't wake up with a bald head and then wake up with a full head, okay? Science tells us that we shed 50 to 100 hair strands every day, and that's normal. If you feel that you're shedding hair excessively, by that I mean too much hair is falling off, then you probably need to see your doctor or your dermatologist to help you with that. So moving on, we are going to talk about the causes of hair loss. The first and most obvious one is aging. We can all agree that the hair we had when we were younger is not the same when we get older. Okay, the hair I had when I was 20 years is not the same hair I have now. And I'm sure when I get to 80, I'll have a whole different, volume of hair. Okay. So the second cause for hair loss is hormonal. Now, this is very typical for ladies when we go through childbirth, when we go through pregnancies, when we go through menopause. All those experiences change our bodies, they change the hormones, and so this can cause hair loss. I think all of us have stories, if not most of us, that when we had our children, our bodies went through stress, and so we had some bit of hair loss, but that grew back. Okay, so the third cause is hereditary. That has to do with your genes. Some other reasons are significant weight loss. When people have significant weight loss in a very short time, I think that sends your body into shock and they tend to experience hair loss. Okay, there's also emotional or physical shock. A good example is, say, if you witness a traumatic something happening, like if you witness a tragedy, maybe killing somebody, that kind of shocks your body and it could cause hair loss. Okay, we do lose our hair because of the hairstyles that we do to our hair. There's something called traction alopecia. A lot of women have lost their hair on the hairline, the side of the hair, or even have had their hairlines extended. Now, this is due to the styles that we have had in our hair, whether the braid is so heavy or there's been a lot of tagging. Sometimes we don't detangle our hair. So we have to get away from those practices, because all of that weakens your hair and you will lose a lot of hair through those practices. Actually, another one that we covered last week and not help but bring in today is use of chemicals, using of colors, applying direct heat. That weakens your hair and you will end up experiencing some sort of hair loss. Okay. The other cause is medical. So in the medical one, we have people who are using or taking drugs for a long time. Sometimes those drugs have side effects as hair loss. But on the other hand, some people are going through life having terminal illnesses. That too can put a lot of stress on your body and cause hair loss. Something tragic that could cause emotional shock or physical shock and hence lead to hair loss. We also have things like hairstyles. We do wear some styles, whether protective or not, that have caused us to lose hair. I think we are all very familiar with traction alopecia, and that is when we pull our hair, whether we're applying, when we're doing our hairstyles, protective hairstyles, and in doing so we lose hair, especially on the hairline. Now, am I saying we shouldn't do protective hairstyles? No, there are ways to do them in a safe way. Be very vigilant not to do hair that's heavy, that will kind of put weight on your natural hair and kind of tug on it. Excuse me. Or be careful not to apply direct heat to your hair. Things like that, using curling combs, hot combs, or if you feel like your hair is weak, then don't even apply chemicals, because all of those things will lead to hair loss. Now, moving on, we are going to look at ways we can stop this hair loss. Hair loss is stopped or minimized by not doing the things that cause hair loss, if you know what I mean. So we'll start with, with aging, you can't do anything about it. So things like hairstyles or hair practices, bad hair practices, like I said, try to get away from chemicals if you feel that your hair is too weak to handle that. Get away from direct heat if you feel that your hair is too weak to handle that. Find other ways, like we covered in the previous video last week, that can help you dry your hair. You can just do some twists and let it air dry. You do not have to use a dryer or a curling comb. Look for styles that will be good for your hair to air dry. Okay, things like poor diet. Try to have a healthy, balanced diet. By the way, it is very, very important for us to have a balanced diet. Make sure that you're resting well, sleeping 8 hours at the very minimal. If you can't, maybe 6 hours, that helps. Drinking lots of water is good. So those are the things that will help your hair to grow back, and you grow back a good healthy head of hair. Other things like using home remedies. We have home remedies using things like rosemary, infusing rosemary in oil and using that oil to massage your scalp to encourage circulation. Very, very important. Looking after your hair is not just about shampooing, conditioning. You can also, for some people, poor circulation causes hair loss. So to alleviate that, then we have to massage our scalps with oils that have ingredients which encourage hair growth. There are things like fenugreek water. You can moisturize with things like that, spray your scalp with that, and many, many other things. Okay. Also, try to avoid stress. Stress is very, very key in hair loss. Or can I say it does cause hair loss a lot. I know we all live different lives. I know we all go through situations. Sometimes you're so stressed, but try to find something positive so that you're not always stressed, and that way you will not be experiencing hair loss. One other thing is when you're combing your hair, make sure you detangle your hair and you're not tagging a lot on your hair, or do not tag, if anything. Use big combs with wider tooth, little things like that. Also, make sure that you have a good hair routine. Wash your hair, condition your hair, mask your hair, and all these things. So that way you'll be able to help your hair to grow back, but also help your hair that's grown back to be healthy. That's all we had for today. I hope you enjoyed what we've talked about. If you feel that you're shedding hair excessively, if you feel that you've done all these things but you're still experiencing hair loss, I would advise you to see your doctor so that you can get to the bottom of this. Sometimes it's a bigger issue than you think. So next week I'll be sharing about how to achieve braids, single braids. I'll show you some techniques. I'll show you the type of hair that I use to get my braids or do my braids. And then, yes, that's all we have for today. Please do remember to subscribe, leave a comment, let us know how we are doing, or if this is useful. It's a way to encourage me. And moving forward, it also helps to know if this is the direction that you want us to take. Okay, thank you.